I talk a lot about abortion on this channel because it lies right at the intersection of all of the things I feel really strongly about. Science, healthcare, pseudoscience, religion, and particularly women's rights. One point I try to mention every time I'm talking about abortion is that when conservatives try to stop women from accessing abortion, the actual scientific fact is that outlawing it does not make women stop getting abortions. It only leads them to get unsafe abortions, which means the same number of dead fetuses and more dead women. This is a scientific fact. The only way to reduce abortion rates is to provide comprehensive sex education to both girls and boys from a very young age, give them easy access to condoms and other forms of birth control, provide emergency contraception, make it easily available over the counter at every pharmacy in the country, and provide a social safety net for when accidents do happen. But when I talk about the unsafe abortions that happen when abortion is made illegal, what am I talking about exactly? I've never really given examples, graphic examples of that. Yes, there are the back alley abortions that you may have heard were rampant prior to Roe v. Wade here in the US, but there are also subtler ways that women are harmed in a society like that. And the kicker is that a lot of this harm can be done under the banner of women's empowerment. And I recently saw a really good example of this. A podcaster named Bria Gen recently went viral on Twitter with a post proclaiming, "Girls, here are some natural birth control options." And then she included 2 images showing a list of quote unquote natural herbs, fruits, and vegetables that she claims can prevent pregnancy. I'm going to go through all of these one by one just to give you an idea of what goes into listicles like this. So papaya, first of all, actually can cause a miscarriage, but only if you eat it before it's ripe, which she doesn't actually mention. Also, there is a particular chemical in papaya seeds that does decrease male sperm mobility, but only if you eat them every single day. And decreased mobility doesn't mean you can't get someone pregnant. It just means it's a little harder to get someone pregnant. As for figs, as far as I can tell, someone just made this up out of whole cloth and put it on the internet. Figs don't prevent pregnancy. There's nothing in a fig that will do that. Ginger, well, here is a quote from a Cambodian woman who used ginger for contraception as told to the United Nations Population Fund. "I drank it in the morning or before bedtime," said Chuan, a villager in Cambodia. "After having my 4th child, I used the modern contraceptive pill." Ginger is so not a contraceptive that it's recommended to pregnant people who get nauseated. Wild yam. This was surprising to me. This actually refers to the American form, Dioscorea villosa, as opposed to the African form, which is also used in folk medicines, but never for contraception. Pretty sure that this listicle is referring to the American wild yam. In this case, neither actually prevents pregnancy, but the reason why I think she's focused on the American version is because I think this is in there because Dr. Carl Gerasi helped develop an early form of birth control by synthesizing progestin that he had extracted from Mexican wild yam root back in the late 1940s. So we can thank the humble wild yam for its contribution to real birth control, but eating it won't actually prevent pregnancy. On to the herbs. Yes, neem oil might be a great contraceptive for up to 5 months, not a year, as this listicle says. And only if you're a rat who has it literally injected into her uterus. To be fair, she didn't tweet, "Hey, human girls, maybe this was a listicle for rats. Rats with easy access to neem oil and a doctor with nothing better to do than inject their uteruses." In a not sexy way. Not in a sexy way. Asif Patita is, amusingly enough, known as both the food of the gods and devil's dung. That's a little fact I learned today. It can prevent pregnancy, again, in rats. And it was only about 80% effective. And the coumarins that Janae mentions fucked up the rat's actual genes. Like, it fucked up their chromosomes. So 80% effectiveness, might not want to go that route. Smartweed truly is a magical plant. A few drops of smartweed juice put in your ear can actually kill the worms that cause earaches. And the same people who believe that don't even think that it should be used as contraception. I don't know where she got that. Angelica, or female ginseng, is known as dong quai in traditional Chinese medicine, where it is basically used for whatever the fuck is wrong with a woman. Are you a woman? Do you have a problem? Here, eat this. Maybe it'll cause a miscarriage. Maybe it'll improve your blood pressure. Maybe it'll interact poorly with other herbs and medications you're taking, and you're going to bleed to death. Who knows? There's no evidence, except for that last one. That last one does have evidence behind it. You might bleed to death. Black cohosh is another fun woman cure-all that is also reminiscent of asafoetida in that it probably won't prevent pregnancy, but it probably will destroy your chromosomes. It's okay. I mean, if you don't have any chromosomes, you can't pass them along to a baby. I assume that's how that works. No chromosomes, no baby. Janae suggests that you take this with pennyroyal for maximum effectiveness. So let's jump right into the best part of this holistical, pennyroyal, which is, of course, misspelled. If you get pregnant, and Republicans have shut down all of the abortion providers within a 12-hour drive of you, you could take pennyroyal, and there's a good chance it will kill the fetus. And it may do that by going straight to the source and just killing you outright. It's basically just a poison. Taking pennyroyal orally, as Janae suggests, often leads to cardiovascular collapse and liver failure. The people who usually die from it are generally either trying to commit suicide or they're trying to use it to get an abortion. Sometimes it's actually hard for doctors to tell which is which because it's so easy to kill yourself with this stuff. As an example, here is an actual case study written by an actual doctor. An 18-year-old girl developed nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, agitation, and confusion starting a few hours after taking 1 ounce of pennyroyal oil in an attempt to induce abortion. She had drunk pennyroyal tea many times in the past to induce menstruation. She had no history of liver disease, alcohol abuse, or risk factors for viral hepatitis, but had been depressed, and the ingestion of pennyroyal oil may have been a suicide attempt. Over the next few days, the liver tests worsened, and she developed progressive renal insufficiency, pulmonary failure, and coma requiring intubation. She suffered recurrent cardiopulmonary arrest and multi-organ failure, from which she died 7 days after the ingestion. That's what I mean about unsafe abortion. The whole list that this person posted on Twitter is what happens when people are denied basic sex education, access to effective birth control, access to abortion, access to overall good health care. People turn to alternative medicine, deciding that since they can't see a doctor, they'll just become the doctor because how hard can it be? Screw big pharma. We're just going to become a magical witch women and find empowerment in that. You can see that exact mindset in Janae's responses to all of science Twitter telling her that she's posted something that could actually kill someone. Here's what she says. Anything can be toxic when taken in excess. Don't consume anything without the supervision of a medical provider you trust, whether that be your doctor, a herbalist, a holistic doctor, your mama, etc. Okay, you could just stop after doctor, because unless your mama, your herbalist, or your holistic whatever actually has a medical degree, it's pointless. Anyway, secondly, with so much convo around the authority to make decisions about our own bodies, this is the perfect time to explore alternative medicine. This may not be an option for everyone, but it is an option. In short, people are free to do what the fuck they want to do with their bodies. We share content based on real-life experiences while also empowering Black women to think freely, challenge societal norms, and live healthier lives. We stand behind women's choices over their bodies. It's honestly disgusting that dangerous misinformation like this is being passed around as empowerment, but this is always what happens. This has happened for years. It's how humans behave when you disempower them, tell them science and critical thinking is off limits to them, and then legislate their bodies against their will. They turn to bullshit as the only way to gain some semblance of control over their lives, but it's a lie. It's bullshit. It's bullshit that might make them feel better, but it's making them feel better while they accidentally get pregnant and are forced to carry a fetus to term, or while they struggle to support children that they don't want, or while they die because they ate a weed that they were pretty sure was going to help them. We need universal health care. We need comprehensive sex education, and we need idiots like this to recognize when they're wrong and delete the dangerous misinformation that they have helped spread to women in need.